everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a really special treat. This is a 1963 Corvette Stingray. This is a C2 generation, and it is nowhere close to stock. It has a whole list of mods we'll throw in the description down below. Brief overview: it has a built engine making a ballpark 400 horsepower. It's running very rich right now. We have a Tremec 5-speed manual transmission, which feels absolutely phenomenal and very mechanical. We also have a 373 rear end. The owner tells me that this thing is quite quick. The alignment isn't perfect, and we do have drum brakes in the front. So we're gonna kind of just get a feel for what a car this old is kind of like to drive. And I would call this sort of a Restomod. It's a work in progress, but so far it looks beautiful. I polished the paint up for the owner. He's about to take it to his wedding. It's like perfect time to take this car out. So let's go ahead and take this out on the road and see how the C2 Chevrolet Corvette drives. Woo! Does smell like fuel. Okay, so we have AFR, we have tachometer, coolant temp, and all the information we need. The owner tells me it should be okay, but it's always nice to have it all in front of you, just in case. It is an old car. It's nice to have these things in front of your face. Clutch is also mechanical, so not hydraulic, not cable. It is blinkage, which is really sweet. So let's feel the throttle pedal. Among the mods in this thing is an aftermarket camshaft, which sounds absolutely insane. Still getting our bearings here a little bit. I should note, I've never driven anything quite like this. The cam is very, very aggressive. Okay guys, so we're still getting acclimated to the car. Owner tells me that the return spring for the gas pedal might be a little too touchy. It does feel a bit touchy. Clutch pedal feels great and mechanical. I mean, it's a direct linkage. It's probably the best clutch pedal you'll ever feel in your life. Shifter feels great. Brake pedal, it's manual brakes. You're really gonna stomp on them, and it is front drum and rear disc, so we're not gonna do anything too crazy today. Oh man, guys, this thing feels like it wants to go. Steering is vague at best. Oh my goodness, what a machine. Interestingly, this was actually a race car back in the day that was later, sat. After it was done being a race car, the owners parked it in the field and it never moved. And sometime in the 1990s, somebody decided to repaint this car and give it a new lease on life, which is the paint job that's still on here that we polished. Not the best paint job in the world, but you know what? I've seen worse. It's okay. And you know what? This car is a driver. It's not perfect. It sounds like a beast, guys. Holy smokes. What a car. Ooh, okay. Now I've been told that Speedo is, relatively accurate. As accurate as anyone from this era would be. And I'm finding in this car that I think I need to keep the revs probably above 2,000. Above 2,000, it seems to smoothing out a lot. Especially at like 1,200, it's lumpy. It doesn't really like the, you know. I've been told these handle great. We're not going to push it too hard today. The steering box is quite old, and as a result, loose. You know, that's kind of the charm of old cars. It's, you know, how they are. It is so visceral, everyone. So visceral in the driver's seat. That sound, oh my goodness. What a noise this car makes. There's a lot of differences between old cars from new cars. I mean, you think that going in, and you do, but how different it is, it really doesn't hit you until you're in the driver's seat. Like the brakes, like you really gotta, yeah. And even when you do, there's not a ton there. It is kind of unirking being in a car like this in modern traffic with cars on either side of you. And also everybody's got their phones out, they're taking pictures and staring at you, because I mean, there's nothing like this on the road. But I gotta say, I'm having a grand old time. This thing is sweet. It's actually easier to engine brake than it is to use the real brakes in this car. Come on, more gas. There we go. You have to get out of the dead spot in the camshaft when you're taking off in this thing. Like that first little bit you're taking off, if you don't give it a ton of revs, I mean, it is totally dead. The engine has nothing. What a riot. Also, because I'm kind of taller, I have to like look over the windscreen to see any lights, which is not adding to my ease of user experience here. I gotta say, the shifter is incredibly easy to use. This Tremec feels great. I don't know if there's a shifter on here or not, or what it comes with, but that's easily the high point of this car. The clutch and the shifter action are just so incredibly easy to use. I knew how to drive this the second I hopped in from that perspective. Oh, hello, officer. The cams make this thing hilarious to drive at lower RPM. Like, it's just gutless. And then the power all comes at once, you're like, ugh. Pair with the gas pedal being touchy, and you're like, all right. But oh my God, it is an experience. It is so visceral. I don't even care if my legs touch the steering wheel or that everybody's staring at us. We truly are one with the machine in this car. Like, you don't get that in new cars. Not at all. And I love when you look over, there's just so much everything, open air. The world is your oyster in this car. Wow. Okay, I don't think I was full throttle before. Once I went full throttle, the induction noise gets super loud. That carburetor starts with a completely different noise. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, what a noise. I have the hugest grin on my face right now. What was that? And it makes the greatest popping noises ever. Oh my God, what a car. What a car, guys. It's taken me a minute to get used to this. Alright, we're just gonna... It's the first time we've done that this entire test drive. I'll cut myself a break. Oh, brake, come on, come on. Alright, there we go. It's taken me a minute to really get used to this car and get comfortable with it, because a lot of it's really different to what I'm used to driving. Like we said earlier, there's... Oh, you really got to keep your foot on the brake as this thing rolls. There are no cars like this in the modern era. Just pure mechanical, like I've never experienced anything like this. It doesn't instill the most driver's confidence as far as handling goes. I mean, I'm sure with new suspension parts it would. It's still a work in progress. But, I mean, even like the steering is getting that much tighter. I mean, that's just how cars work. It's great. When you get off throttle too, it's really snappy on you. I'm glad to be driving it on a day like today when it's dry and we have some nice pavement out in front of us. I'm not going to say this is super hard to drive because it's not, but it is a learning curve. It takes you a second. You really got to get comfortable in this before you can kind of start pushing it. Of course, if you've driven a lot of old cars, I'm sure this is no different. So that aspect of it is more, maybe more such old cars and not the C2 Corvette specifically. It's also very strange having to look here for the RPM. So some of these gauges don't work. I mean, it's old car stuff, pretty normal. But we have cool temp, saying a 159, like 160 area, that's normal. RPM kind of fluctuates a lot. AFR is running pretty rich, but that's okay. This is a very safe tune for the car. Oh, come on. It really stakes up on you, the power of this thing. What's interesting though is I thought 400 horsepower felt like a lot for this weight. It only weighs like 26-ish, 100 pounds, but it really doesn't. The power feels correct for the weight. I don't know if it's just the car puts it down well or what. But the whole package, it just feels so well in tune with itself. Never tell me you can make more power out of it, but honestly, I don't really think it needs any more. It's like perfect. Ah, I stalled it. Oh boy. Alright, hang on. Alright, there we go. I'm so glad I didn't just flood the engine. That would have sucked. Back in the old school days of very quick shifting American cars. Like it's immediate. The shifter tells you go, go, go. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Not my smoothest pull. The rear end started getting a little loose there, but dang guys, it's great. This isn't really a first gear kind of car. It is if you're the owner and you know this car very well, but for us this is more of like a take off a little quickly in the first, kind of roll in the second, and that 2-3, probably my favorite shift in the whole car. 2-3 is just incredible. We have finished our test drive of the 1963 C2 generation Chevrolet Corvette, and wow, what an experience. It's hard for me to describe to all of you how visceral this car is. 400 horsepower feels like a very good number for this car. It's not too much, and it's definitely not too little. This thing gets out of its own way, and I think if I had more seat time in this car, I could definitely keep up in modern traffic. So I have to extend a huge thank you to the owner for throwing us the keys today. This was a surreal experience driving a car like this, and he's done a great job of getting this car to where it's at. In the future, he plans on doing disc brakes for the front as well, because right now we have front drums and disc rears, and you know, fixing some of the odds and ends, suspension alignment, that sort of thing. But as of now, it feels great. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and give the C2 Chevrolet Corvette a score.
This Restomod C2 Corvette scores here on our list. Not a bad score, considering its age. This wouldn't be a very good daily driver, obviously, but it's fast, turns heads, and offers a lot of driver's feedback. I put it about equal to the S2000. This and the S2000 are very engaging, but in different ways. Should you buy it? It's hard for me to gauge that on a car like this because it's out of my usual wheelhouse. C2 Corvettes are expensive, and it's hard to justify a car that's over half a century old. What I can say is this: there are not a lot of other cars that are more iconic and iconic in American history than this. The C2 Corvette turns heads everywhere, and no matter who you are or where you are, someone is going to appreciate your car. And most importantly, you will never forget to turn around and look back at the car after you've parked it.